changer coded by the blue storm. My number is 19, the power of all number. I am the master alchemist, the force behind the philosopher's stone. Skilled at the art of transmutation. I am the catalytic transformer of world consciousness and planetary living. I oversee the changes of the weather. I am the thunder that shatters your world systems. I am the transport of clouds filled with lightning to illuminate the truth behind your illusions. I am the bringer of the drenching rains that purifies, It was I who caused the triple Aztec monuments of the Avatar archetype to appear in the ancient temple grounds. I oversee the morning and the evening stars. I behold the creator of the fifth sun, the present world. Sent forth am I to dwell among you, calling forth the sixth sun. For the great regeneration of the world's soul, to know me is to know your own power of self-generation. To know me is to know your own power of self-generation. Self-generation is power. I am the transport of clouds filled with lightning to illuminate the truth behind your illusions. I am the bringer of the drenching rains that purifies.
All right. Welcome to Synchronistic Talk. And it's truly a pleasure to be here. We have some phenomenal information to share. And just to tell you, times are shifting. We study Mayan and Olmec cosmology, and we understand that we are moving and shifting from the information age into the telepathic age of our existence. And so therefore, it's requiring us to get some information. I call it the fourth dimension of time being the evolution of consciousness, and to govern ourselves by those concepts in this day and age is critical when you look at all the things that are happening with government, all of the things that are happening underhandedly. We are truly in a position to do something we hadn't done before, and that's evolve into a higher state of consciousness and live a whole different type of life. And so with that concept being the forefront of what we are talking about and what we're bringing about, it is truly exciting to talk about becoming a synchronistic human. In Synchronistic Talk, we tend to talk about the archetypes, the attributes of the different archetype and the cosmology that we follow. But more importantly, what we've been doing in this past 8 to 10 series is talking about the shadow wisdom of the archetype, which means that some of the things that can be happening if we're coming into blockages and things of that nature. And so what we do, we use the cosmology to explain to us and show us what can help us get past blockages. So I could sit here and teach you concept after concept after concept of how you can get and be successful and all these different things. But if I don't show you how to get past the blockages, if I don't show you image consulting, where you're able to now upgrade your self-image and see yourself being an accomplisher of the vision that you set forth, most of the time we won't do it. We won't be able to reach that vision, and we'll self-sabotage. So this is going to be a great session. It's going to talk about the negative effects of being overly ambitious, and a lot of us have this issue. It can become an issue. It's nothing wrong with ambition, but sometimes we can be overly ambitious and what we call spread ourselves too thin. And we can put unnecessary pressure on those closest to us to pull certain projects off and things of that nature, when we probably shouldn't have took it on in the first place because we already had a lot on our plate. And so, this is some of the things we're going to talk about. Now, I always like bringing this into vibrational alignment. So let's talk about what does synchronicity refer to. It refers to the underlying cosmic intelligence, right, that synchronizes people, places, and events into a meaningful, and I can add purposeful order. We experience synchronicity when an outer experience corresponds with our inner thoughts, perceptions, or feelings. I also like to say when three or more things appear to be working on our behalf, even though they seem to be unrelated. The key word is seem to be unrelated. So we want the power of nature and the power of synchronicity to work on our behalf while we go and accomplish different tasks, while we deal with the challenges from our circumstances, while we deal with the conditions in our life. And so as we do that, I want to define what a synchronistic human is. First, it's a fourth dimensional concept. It's someone who is able to be multidimensional while unifying energy from the synchronicities of natural time cycles towards the holonomic evolution of humanity, Mother Earth, and the galactic whole. Wow. Very, 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 very powerful. Imagine if you can be what I just described on here, multidimensional, being able to unify energy from different states of consciousness, planetary consciousness, galactic consciousness, and localize it in your body and focus with that energy on your gifts, on your crafts, on the projects that you deem important and your purpose, right? So when we do this, I want to, talk about, we follow the 13 moon calendar, and I'm not going to get too much into it tonight, but this calendar in terms of evolution is obsolete. It's obsolete. So if we're basing everything on this calendar, I'm going to ask you to strongly reconsider that, because in the new time, we are following cosmic cycles to access what? Our cosmic memory. And in that, it is said to be stored in your cerebellum. The memory is over 100+ million years, according to scientists, of memory stored in your brain. Now imagine your brain being the command and control center for trillions of cells. So when a signal comes from your brain, you got an entourage of hundreds of billions, hundreds of trillions of cells that are now working towards your intention. This is why we have to be careful with how we direct our thoughts and our energy. All right. Who owns your mind, or your time owns your mind. So if we're following artificial cycles, this is why when we talk about the 13 moon calendar, I don't want you to get spooked out, because what we're talking about is following natural time cycles, right? The moon cycles are 28 days on a mean average. It takes the moon to revolve around the earth. We want to use the energy of that cycle to spark our creativity. How can we do that if we're following a 12-month artificial calendar that's created just for time is money paradigm? You see, I'm not saying anything is wrong with money. I'm saying that don't need to be the basis of our purpose and our being, because as we align with the cosmic energy and abundance, prosperity is a byproduct of our full alignment with that effortlessly. We don't got to grind for it. Okay. So these natural cycles are very important. So change your time and change your mind. Change your mind and what? Change how you experience your world. So your mind, your perception being in the eye of the beholder, is going to determine what it is that you experience, and what you continue to experience is going to be determined by the level of consciousness that you're operating at, whether you're a male or female. It just, the consciousness is the whole key, right? All right, so the solution of course, is the 13 moon calendar 28-day process. And this is directly linked for any female avatars who are listening. This is synonymous with the female menstruation cycles. We're missing out on a lot of creative energy by following and trying to cram 13 cycles into 12, and it's causing all kind of, I think it's a contributing factor to some of the disruption and the challenges that are being had with fibroids and things of that nature. It's energy. There's an emotional root to every issue. Start following the 13 cycles, and you watch how things will change very rapidly. Okay? All right, so let's get on with the prayer of the 7 galactic directions. And I like saying this prayer. I'm not a religious person like that. However, the prayer really puts in check to prepare to receive higher knowledge and use it appropriately. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the prayer of the 7 galactic directions. From the east, house of light, may wisdom dawn in us so we may see all things in clarity. From the north, house of night, may wisdom ripen in us so we know all from within. Okay, that's great. From the west, house of transformation, now that we know everything from within, may this wisdom be transformed into the right actions so we may do what must be done. From the south, house of the eternal sun, may right action reap the harvest so we may enjoy the fruits of planetary being. From above, house of heaven, where star people and ancestors gather, may their blessings come to us now. From below, house of earth, may the heartbeat of her crystal core bless us with harmonies to end all war. And make no mistake about it, the war is within. From the center, the galactic source, which is everywhere at once, may everything be known as the light of mutual love. Ayum Unaku Eva Maya E Maho. Ayum Hunaku Eva Maya E Maho. Ayum Hunaku Eva Maya E Maho. All hail the harmony of mind and nature. Ashe, Ashe, and Asheo. So notice here that when you get clarity, all right, and you know that the wisdom ripens with you so you can know, not think, everything within you, know the answers from within. Your intuition will show you that. And then now you are intuitively shown that I need to change this behavior. I need to transform my behavior to do what must be done, or I'm going to what? Continue to receive the same type of circumstances, the same experiences, expecting them to change, but I haven't yet adjusted my behavior from the wisdom of knowing all from within. And when you do those 3 steps properly, watch this, automatically you start to prosper. May wisdom be transformed into right action so we may enjoy the fruits of planetary beings. Think about that. Or we should say, it actually says, may right action reap the harvest so we may enjoy the fruits of planetary beings. So it's already there. We're humbling ourselves, but nature experiences this all the time. And we can too. It's an energy. So that's why I like to play. And then when you're prospering on the planet, the ancestors send more prosperity to you. And then now we start making moves. We start ending the war from within. We start ending, if we end the war within, then we can end the war without. You see? All right. So that's what that is. So to bring this into vibrational alignment, we're in the 11th moon according to the 13 moon calendar. In Dream Spell calendar, it starts back on July the 26th. And the spectral serpent moon is dealing with liberation. Okay. So we're in the white overtone wizard solar cycle, or year of timelessness, unending evolution, and supreme receptivity. I like to talk about this because a lot of people are great givers, but poor receivers. In order to prosper, you have to be a good receiver as well. All right. When the spectral serpent moon of liberation in the second heptad, or second 7-day cycle, where humility refines how we meditate. And how we meditate is going to determine the level of consciousness that we access. And the level of consciousness that we access is going to determine what we magnetize and experience in our life. Okay? The question that this moon asks is, how do I release and let go? How many of you that are listening have some things that you need to release and let go, and it's trying to release and let go of you too? It has its claw marks in you. A lot of us have our claw marks into our past. We can't let it go. We have to figure it out. We have to win. We have to be able to triumph over our traumas. And I'm telling you, the way you triumph over your traumas is you have to release and let go, because it's creating a blockage between you and the abundance that's already there waiting to come into your experience. So this moon asks this question every single solitary day. How do I release and let go? The question you want to ask before that, now this is what I did. I made a list of everything. What do I need to let go? And then what do I got a question about that I need to let go? And I need to scrutinize that list. And then I need to ask, how do I let it go? And then guess what? After I get the answer, I let it go. It's the dawn of a new day, right? The dawn of a new day. So now the plasma, so instead of the word day, we use the word plasma. The plasma is Celio, which is in the 14th position out of 28 in the spectral serpent moon. Now, this is where we're dealing with the heart chakra, and we're releasing the mental, right, and electromagnetic energy and discharging it at the earth to receive more abundant energy and intelligence in the next 7-day cycle. Okay, very important, right? So now, so as we go through this, this is an example of the 260-day cycle where we find our galactic purpose through the kin numbers. Now, it's a 260-day cycle because it's a cycle to help evolve spiritually, because the gestation period of a human is about 260 days. We say 9 months, but it's about 260 days. Also, the farming cycles are roughly about 260 days. So now this is the process of you coming into being. So where was your consciousness when you started at inception into incarnation? And where is your consciousness now? You see? And so we can gauge that to see where we need to go from there. So today's kin number is kin 207. You see it highlighted there. I like to break this down with the affirmation at hand, right? Kin number 207, the blue crystal hand states, I dedicate in order to know. What do you dedicate yourself? What kind of knowledge do you want to learn? What is it that you want to know? Universalizing healing. So that means all the healing in the universe is coming to support you. What in your life do you need to heal? If you got an ankle injury or a knee injury, are you dealing with fibroids? Are you dealing with cancer? Are you dealing with a degenerative disease? What all the healing power in the universe can help heal it through the power of God in us. I seal the store of accomplishment with the crystal tone of cooperation. What do you need to cooperate with? Your intuition is giving you the answers. But when it says release that and let go, release that relationship and let it be free, release that habit and let it go, we say, no, I got my claw marks in it. It's who I am, and I can't let it go because it helped me create my story. You're not your story. It's time to create a new story. I'm guided by the power of self-generation or self-love or unconditional love for self. We say it 3 times in order to lock it in. I just wanted to explain it to you. I dedicate in order to know, universalizing healing. I seal the store of accomplishment with the crystal tone of cooperation. I am guided by the power of self-generation. One more time to lock it in. I dedicate in order to know, universalizing healing. I seal the store of accomplishment with the crystal tone of cooperation. I am guided by the power of self-generation. Ashe. Ashe and Asheo. Now you see 5 pictures up here. So we don't know, I didn't know when I got started with this, that I literally have an atmosphere of 5 bodies that support me on my journey of remembrance in carrying out my purpose. And so tomorrow evening, if you want to know more about what your 5 bodies are, we got one of our key individuals, Moon Goddess Ambrosia. She's going to be doing a session tomorrow in our New Kin orientation, talking about how you can tap into the 5 bodies. What does your destiny oracle look like? How can it help you become a multi-dimensional being? You don't want to miss that breakdown. I haven't seen anybody that can do it like she does it. It's phenomenal. All right. So there's more to learn about this, but just what we're dealing with, being dedicated is a good thing. Being able to be universal, especially when it's combined with healing, is another. And accomplishing is another. Right. And getting cooperation from others as well as being cooperative is also very important in this process. All right. Let's talk about the 7th archetype of 20, the blue hand, also known as the avatar. Let's talk about the avatar, because the avatar is dealing with accomplishment. How many of you all like to accomplish the things that you set out to accomplish? Probably most of us. Now, if I ask another question, how many of us actually complete the things that we want to accomplish? Then it gets quiet as a church mouse. Right? It's real quiet because a lot of times we have such busy lives and we have a laundry list of unfinished projects. All right. So when I get into the negative effects of being overly ambitious, this is one of the byproducts of that. All right. So let me read to you what it says about the avatar, which is the hand. And then we're going to get into some of the attributes and the shadow aspects of this archetype so you can see if any of them align with you. And here's the thing. So you can correct yourself. So you can make the adjustment and actually accomplish something through completion. So let's talk about it. It says, I am the avatar, coded by the blue hand. By the power of 7, I move through your world. Descending from the cosmic heights of the 7 heavens, I hold the keys to the 7 days of creation. I am the accomplisher, the builder of forms. I am the constructor of the worlds to come. Within the interdimensional architecture, I lay the path of knowledge for you to remember, to know, to heal, and to accomplish. These words, too, I beckon you to realize through all of your actions, for I am the keeper of the covenant, binding all knowledge for the healing of the world soul. The code is my being as an enigma wrapped in mystery. leaving divine clues with whomever I meet. My mission is to exemplify what others have not yet known. An exemplar is a person who sets an example. They're an example. They are the epitome of something. What are you the epitome of, or what can you become the epitome of so that you can showcase your gifts and skills and carry out your purpose on this particular planet? The avatar is the seventh archetype out of 20, the blue hand. Let's look at some of the qualities. Completion is the first thing. I'm a big proponent of completing tasks. Did you already complete the first thing that we talked about? No, but I want to move on to the next thing. So my children and grandchildren, I always say, no, let's complete this first. Because when we're becoming whole being, when you want something to work on your be whole, that means be whole or complete. And when you're a complete being, you complete task. And when you come from the energy of completion, there is upside potential that can't be measured or scaled because it's complete. It's a finished product. Now we don't know how viral it's going to become and how expansive it's going to become and what that's going to look for you in terms of you in dollars and cents. So completion, gateway is a channel acting as if it's already complete. We heard that before. Act as if you're already wealthy. Act as if you're already healthy. Act as if you already have the companions of destiny in your midst. Act as if you got your problems that you think are problems already a solution and already resolved in your life. Act as if you already have everything it takes to be successful, because success is a decision. And it's your decision. So acting as if. Some people call it fake it till you make it. But this is not a fake it till you make it, because the I am in you has already accomplished it. You just have to align with who you are and how I am. I say? All right. So you see, here's an iceberg. They call it the iceberg of illusion. Success is an illusion at times. Right? Because this is what people see. They see the product, but they don't see the process. And so underneath the water, you can't see that 2/3 of the iceberg is underneath the water, where your persistence is, where you fail, where you sacrifice, where you have to be disappointed, where your discipline is. And you have to discipline your disappointment, where your hard work, your dedication is. This is what people don't see. And so why is this important? Well, I'm going to show you. Because the negative effect of being overly ambitious is some people have too many icebergs. They look on the surface, it doesn't look like a lot, but you forgot that the 2/3 below the surface, below the water of the iceberg, is what's going to challenge you. Your dedication, your hard work, your discipline, and the disappointments are greater because you have such high ambition and high expectations for what it is that you are going to experience by completing a project or a task that you have. All right. So when we look at this, let's look at the shadow aspect. Taking on too much. Some people say you can't do that, Neb Teharka. Yes, you can. Because, it's all about how you take on tasks. What is the relationship between task take on and task completion? And so the negative effects, let me get the negative effects. The negative effects of being overly ambitious is you start to have unfinished projects in a timely manner. So you say, oh, I'm going to take on this project, and I'm going to get into this business, and I'm going to take this class, and oh yeah, I'm going to get my children in this, and I'm going to do that. And then before you know it, you got 4 or 5 things going on at once, demanding every ounce of energy from you, and we just never think that fatigue is going to set in. We just know we're excited about it. So we have to have some emotional intelligence and say, hold on. It's not that I can't do it. It's the timing of it. It's the approach to it. So I'm going to start this project when I get at least 80% complete with this project. That's a good rule of thumb. But what we do is when we get 20% going and the results ain't quite there yet, we say, all right, I got that going. I got that stream going. It ain't a stream yet, really, to me. It's just you created some work for yourself and it's going to manage you. All right, now you're going to go to the next thing. Let me do this. This is exciting. Now I'll do that while that's maturing, while that's developing. Well, see, it's only going to mature if you put energy and time into it. So the thing that's going to bring me the greatest return is what I'm going to put all my time into until it's a success. Otherwise, I'm going to tap into this project and that project, and ain't none of them going to succeed. Ain't none of them. If you got $1 million project and you say, yeah, man, that one's going to make me $1 million, so I ain't got to worry about that one. I'm going to go over here and work on this because it's going to be the next biggest thing. And you're going to find out you're going to have no thing. You ain't going to have nothing, right? Because what you're successful with is what you put your time and energy and experience with. And that's what is the secret sauce, if there is one, to being successful. Because now you can take those success principles and you could achieve success faster with the next project. But if you haven't even been successful with the first project, all you're going to do is circumvent bad behavior, bad processes, and you're going to experience the same level of success or failure that you did in your last project. And you're going to say, I just can't seem to be good at sales. I just can't seem. You're selling yourself not to be that you ain't good at sales, just like you sell yourself, well, I'm good at explaining and educating people on something and helping them to want to buy it. That's that too. Right? So you have to understand this because it's some negative effects. Let me tell you about when projects don't work. They start costing you money instead of making you money. Let's talk about if, we are overexerting our body. We're being too ambitious energetically. I've been known to do this with workouts and things of that nature. And then I injure myself, right? Being overly ambitious. And then I got to wait till I heal. Now I'm a little bit older, so I heal a little bit slower and get injured a little bit faster. And so when my over ambition kicks in, then my spirits get down because now I can't even work like I want to work on the stuff. And sometimes I end up doing nothing. So I had to change my approach, right? I need to be even keel, right? Even kill. Taking on too much. And let me tell you, taking on too much is like escapism from implementing the process. Right? We see the project and we see the outcome, but if we're not going to implement and complete, then chances are we're not going to profit and capitalize on what it is we've put our initial energy into. So I always make sure, I like to plan a year. If I can't see me doing something for a year, I probably shouldn't do it because I got other projects that demand my attention. If I have $1 million project, why am I spending my time doing anything else if I ain't even made 100,000 that year? We got people that ain't made 50,000. They say, well, this $1 million project will take care of itself. I know I got that. No, you don't have it. You don't have it till you got it. You don't have any money till it's in your hand, right? And so I'm just sharing this because there's a lot of people out here that's so talented, but their problem is they're spread too thin, right? When you're going to be successful on a larger scale, you need a team. You need all these different things to maintain what you complete or what becomes completed so you can stay successful after becoming successful. So a lot of people just take on too much. So I start streamlining things, and my reward when I complete the next thing or I get it to a stabilized point. Now I could take what I've learned from stabilization of this first thing into the second thing. And let me tell you what happened. If it takes me 3 years to be successful with this one thing, it may only take me 1 year or 2 years to be successful with the next thing. Now I got 2 things that I've been successful with. So when I add the third thing, it's only going to take me 6 months to a year to have success with the third thing, right? And then now they all are rocking, right? But let me tell you, the negative effects of being overly ambitious, people stop believing in you. People start to say, I know what's going to happen next, right? And then your closest friends, they start to avoid you. You know why? Because they know you're going to take something on you can't complete. And then you're going to come at the last minute and say, hey, help me do this. Help me do that. We got to do this. We got to do that. And we got to jump through the hoops. Now, that's okay as the exception, but not the rule. Being overly ambitious can ruin relationships. Being overly ambitious can increase your stress levels. Being overly ambitious can cause you to spend more money on a project than you make because it didn't become monetized and successful. And there's so many things I can go down the list that the negative effects of being overly ambitious, and overly ambitious people won't see it. I've been that way. All they see is that I got to go do it. I got to go get it. And they're thinking about the rush of going after it because they're excited. But they don't have the fortitude to complete it. And incomplete, like an incomplete in school is worse than a failing grade, an F, an incomplete. You didn't complete it. So how do you even know what it can do? How do you know without completing it, how the nature and the power of synchronicity can work on your behold and take that around the world, around the galaxy, so that you can be prosperous from it? Taking on too much. You have to have an evaluation system, and you have to reward and say, it's just like eating, right? Like my 6-year-old, he says, hey, Papa, can I have some dessert? Can I eat this candy now? Or can I eat this dessert now? No, you got to eat dinner first. Okay, well, I'm eating my dinner. All right, and there's still some vegetables left on your plate. Eat them up too. But I'm going to be too full. Well, then you don't need to eat a little bit of the sweets because it's going to give you a tummy ache, right? And so it's the similar concept that eat all of this first and then see how you feel. And then when you've made room for the next item, then you bring that one in. But if you try to do everything, it's going to be an unhealthy result. Is that making sense to you all? I hope it's making some sense, because I can tell you I've seen people destroyed from being overly ambitious. They're not smart. It's not that they can't do it. They're just trying to do 10 things and they should only be doing 2. And allowing that process to complete, and then moving to the next 2, and then moving to the next 2, and then moving to the next 2. And they can still complete 10, but in phases. I'm telling you, this will change. This will help reduce your stress level, because we think that doing it fast is going to help us be successful faster, and it can help you be overly ambitious, and it can actually take longer for you to be successful because stuff is going to start falling apart. You can't maintain $5 and $6 million projects at one time, because it takes focus and momentum to get it there. I hope this is helpful, because this can turn into a curse. A good thing can be turned into a curse. And this will be your modus operandi. Let me do this. Let me do that. I know I didn't complete that, but let me do it. I'll get to that later. Or I'll get so-and-so. Or that's easy. I ain't going to worry about that. Well, if it's easy, complete it. So the shadow transformation is what? Finish what you start. If you don't finish what you start, How are you going to show yourself as justified in receiving the increase or prospering from it? You see, and I mean, it's so simple, but people miss the simple stuff and say, I just don't know why I'm not being successful. You know, it's something I'm not good at sales, or I'm not good at marketing, or I need to stay, I'm a behind the scenes person. No, you just chose that because you're afraid to get out here and really make it happen. You see, and we need to remove that fear. Finish what you start. So that leads me to this. What's an assignment? Complete something you have been procrastinating with. Can we do this? Complete something. You know, well, I'm too busy. I got to get up and do this. I got to get up and do that. Stop and find the highest priority and complete it. Complete it. What's going to give you the best increase? What's going to take you the furthest? What's going to take all the stress up off of you? The biggest thing, and do it. Right? Don't quit. Do it. And a lot of people, what happens when they get too many projects going, they just leave them there and they quit. But they're just inactive. You know, it's just sitting there waiting for somebody to come take it on. All right. But we got to be careful with that. So complete something that you have procrastinated with. Real simple. And after you do that, do another thing. Prioritize the things that are incomplete and start completing them. And when you start having the energy of completion and holistic being, you start to attract abundance in its equivalency versus these fractures or fractions of things and these onesies and twosies that don't get you where you need to be, and you're still scraping the bottom of the barrel just to make it. Put all your energy into the project that can help you prosper the most, that has the most upside potential, that can gain the most momentum, and learn everything that you can from there. Even if you have to learn under somebody, it's okay. I learned under people. And I learned the operation. I learned how it works. So when I did it by myself, I was able to take organizations from 10 or 20 to 2,500 or 2,600 people. Those are things that I've done, not to brag or impress you, but to impress upon you. I had to learn first. I just didn't jump out to 2,500 people in 6 months. I had to learn the game. And I had to learn from somebody who already was doing it versus trial and error. Let's see what this will work. Let's see if that'll work. Let's just start another project while that one is maturing. No, let's roll these sleeves up and get in these trenches and figure this one out, because half of what we need to figure the next one out is by figuring this one out, and that one gets that much faster. I hope this is making sense to you, because this is the time, in the new time, as a conscious being, you need to be financially independent. And it takes skills. We have talents, we have gifts, but if you don't have the skills to bring those talents and gifts in a certain way to the marketplace and show your value, then you'll just be somebody with talents and gifts who's unable to monetize that. And then that can be disheartening in your life. All right. So the assignment is to complete something that you have procrastinated with. Real simple. Let's do some announcements before we take some questions. Tomorrow is the New Kin orientation. You want to learn about your 5 bodies? Nobody is doing it better right now than Moon Goddess Ambrosia. I've watched her do and break down these 5 bodies. I love it. She's passionate about it. She's an oracle reader, and she happens to be doing that very well for the Synchronistic Human platform. So we want to, employ her skill, and as people come, they're going to get to see, whoa, wait a minute, what you mean 5 bodies? I'm just focusing on one. No, you got a physical body experience, you got a spiritual guide experience, you have a mental body that challenges us to get stronger and remember, and we have an emotional body that makes us, it's the hidden an unexpected factor. It's your hidden power. You don't show your hidden power till you get in a jam, and then bam, you come out with it. So Moon Goddess is going to be doing that tomorrow. It's going to be about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes, and you could even learn about your archetype. So if you don't know your archetype, you could put your date in the chat in that session, or even tonight, and go out there and you'll receive information about it and get the concept of how it works and start using that to your advantage when you're going and getting jobs. See, these are some differentiators that you can't put on your resume, but that people can feel the presence of your confidence and your certainty of who you are, because you sitting here more confident because you like, hey, I got 5 different aspects of myself. You see? So that's the power in that. So tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, don't miss it. It's going to be powerful, and you're going to be, I mean, it's life-changing to find out this knowledge and now use it in your day-to-day experience in life. It's phenomenal. All right. And we also have the 260 Kin Quantum Leap check-in. This is powerful because what we're doing is we're reaching out. We're sending a signal out to all of the people who want to evolve, all of the people that want to learn about galactic consciousness. And we're going to teach them the cosmology of the Olmec and Mayan tradition, and to be able to use that today. Now, this is something that I've worked 8 years on. So I've been able to integrate it very well and teach these concepts through 900 plus coaching sessions, one-on-one coaching sessions. So this is something that's not up for trial. It's not something that maybe works. It works extremely well. We're just now really bringing it out so everybody can have a fair shake at if they want to tap into it. And I don't know why anybody wouldn't want to tap in and evolve. So I want to show you a quick video about the 260 Kin, just so you can understand the concept, and then we'll come up with 1 or 2 more announcements and then ask questions before we get off. All right, let's roll the video. All right. Powerful video. And so we're getting together, and by assembling in the physical, we are creating what we call the galactic brain, and we're sending a signal into the cosmic mind. And so it's very powerful. Now, we explain this information more detailed in some of our classes and some of our private sessions. But this is something that you definitely want to be a part of because it disrupts systemic programming. Okay? You no longer have to be under the foot of the governmental agencies. You don't need anything to govern your mental, okay, as a galactic citizen here, accessing your whole mind versus just 1/10 of it based on the program. All right. So we are extremely excited about what we have in place about that. And let's go ahead and take any questions. Any questions about the cosmology? Any questions about, you know, the negative effects of being overly ambitious? Now, there's also the other side of it is having no ambition. So you can't teach somebody ambitious or ambition. You don't know how much ambition they have in their heart, but you bring the drive that you had in your whys about how you unfold that in your experience. So if anybody has any questions, I definitely would like to share that with the platform, because, you know, somebody might have the same question that you have, and that might change their life. Today, look, I've seen people that have done simple things. It's the simple things and the smallest things that make the biggest difference. We always are oftentimes looking for the big sophisticated things that we can do, right? That's going to help change our life. And it's like we're carrying a grand piano on our back. It seems like it's almost impossible. But what I have found is that when you break things up into smaller increments, right? How you get something done is you break it down into more digestible parts. And if you're willing to be consistent and persistent, you can accomplish anything. The key that, and part of the negative effects that we're having about being overly ambitious, is we are impatient. And you know, patience is a virtue, right? So let me help y'all with some questions, because I don't see, if I was you, I would be asking me, hey, Neb Teharka, so what is being overly ambitious really look like? You know, I have a job, and I have my passion, and I have 3 children, and I'm married. What does that look like? Okay, great. So what it looks like is, let's just say that here's how it starts, right? You want to provide for your family. Your family wants to go on vacations. You want to stay in a nice house. You want to do, you know, be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor. And you look at your job, and most jobs, they're only going to pay you what? Just enough so you won't quit. And you only going to work what? Hard enough so they don't fire you, right? Look at that relationship. So what you do is you go get you a side hustle. Or you look for a job that you're not as passionate about, right? That's going to take more hours, right? And it's going to pay you a little bit more money. And then you still got to be a father or a mother to your 3 children, all right? And you still got all the duties that come with maintaining a household and all that kind of stuff. And then over time, we get burnt out, right? Now, I tell you, we get burnt out faster from the things that we're doing that we're not passionate about, that we're just doing for money. And we start getting, you know, ill, right? We start getting sick from that. So my ideal is, okay, first of all, what if I had a job right now, what skills could I have, or what role, right? Because I don't like to really call it a job. And being an entrepreneur, if I had a job, I say, all right, what aspect of this company could I bring the most value to, and could I learn the most in, right? And as soon as I found that area, if I could find it, I would become a leader in that area. And then as soon as I became a leader in that area and I started to learn the business inside the business, let me tell you what's going to happen, what has happened to me. I've been able to, you know, be in a position now where I'm mastering the thing, so it's easier for me to do. And now I end up having a team of people to help me do it. And so I can leverage my time through other people. And that's how you reduce the stress, right? And I didn't mean it ain't, you know, it's is not stressful at the management level. But if you do things the right way, if you put the right leadership measures and the rites of passage ways in place for people in your team to be leaders and take your position at some point, now you start to create the format of the people that you help succeed pushes you to the next level because of the results that you're getting, right? And that's what I would do first, so I could free up my time and have more flexibility. Then I would add the side hustle, something, of course, that I am passionate about, right? And then I would do that as a way to express my joy. Like it's fun. It's almost like a hobby, but you get to turn it into a business and you get to help a lot of people. If that's what motivates you. You might be able to make a lot of money if that's what motivates you. You might be able to learn something you couldn't learn on your job, and just knowing, having that knowledge may drive you. Or you might just be able to have a boatload of fun doing it. That's what that looks like. But you see what people are doing, they're looking for the one-hit wonder. They got a job they don't like, and then they try to get into a business that's going to make fast money, right? And then all you got, here's how it sounds. All you got to do is X, Y, Z, and you're going to be making this amount per month, and you won't even need your job. So you work to go for it. And then you realize it's going to take a lot more work than you thought. And your performance on your job is slipping. Now they blind copying you. And so now it's creating more stress on your family. If it's creating more stress on your family, it's creating more stress on your relationship. And then this is how being overly ambitious in this sense causes you to implode. Okay, so that's an example of if you have a job. If you have a business, you got a lot of flexibility. And then when you first become an entrepreneur, you say, oh man, I want to have multiple streams of income. Man, I could be doing this, because you think you got so much time. I could be doing that. And you got 3 and 4 things going on at one time. Now, if they're all performing, great. But if you're not making $100 in all of them, or each one of them put together, you might want to find one that you can put all your energy into and get it to its apex, its high point, and focus on that so you can develop some seed money and put into the other ones and get the other ones going. But the key is learning how to manage and sustain what you already got. Okay, so these are some very important factors that's important. All right. Question here from Dreamy Pisces. What do you feel? Do you feel that people become overly ambitious because they actually have low self-esteem or suffer from perfectionism? It could be. Yeah, a lot of times people are project focused, so it like title, like a title makes somebody feel like they're successful, right? And so if you have 3 and 4 projects and you say, hey, I got this going on, that going on, you're really creating a false sense of success. And that could be coming from actually having low self-esteem and not believing that you can do one thing and be successful in it. So you kind of rolling the dice with these things to see which one really goes the furthest. And most of the time, and I would say 9 out of 10 times, none of them will. And then you're like, oh, what do I do? Because everybody needs money, et cetera, et cetera. So yes, self-esteem could be part of it. But some people are very confident and they're overly ambitious too. And they just don't know when to say no. They don't know when they get so excited, they don't know when to stop. Perfectionism, I would say perfectionism kind of makes you stay at one thing too long, okay, versus a lot of things, in my opinion, most of the time. So if you stand in there perfecting something to try to make it successful, I say produce and perfect as you go or as you grow. So I don't know about the perfectionism part, because it's hard to perfect 4 and 5 things at the same time. But I can see where if you're doing one thing and you're just stuck on that thing because you're trying to make it so perfect, and it may not need to be perfect to be successful, but it's the perfectionism is holding you back and slowing it down. but definitely the low self-esteem could be an issue to put out a bunch of stuff that you can't complete. And I've also seen it with people that are highly confident too. They just don't plan correctly. All right. So I don't know if there's any more questions, but you're welcome to email me at Neb Teharka at synchronistichuman.com and email me if you got some questions. I'm all about the cosmology, and the reason why I like the cosmology is because it keeps reinforcing how to do things that we're talking about that are practical things, simple things. And sometimes it's the simplest things that take us the furthest. When we overcomplicate things, we start being overly ambitious. We start taking on too much. And when we take on too much, too little gets done, and it takes a strike at our confidence. But we come out really, aggressive and confident on the surface. But if we've gone through 5 or 10 projects and hadn't succeeded, it's a quiet desperation going on, hoping that something just catches fire. And it might, but it's like rolling dice. You have to catch fire. You have to be the one to make it happen and be able to put the work in. And when you do that effectively enough, you will be successful beyond your wildest dreams. And now you have a formula for success for other things. All right. So this has been a great session, in my opinion. I hope and trust that you all got a lot of mileage out of this. And I tell you, keep on striving, keep joining these sessions. You're welcome to reach out to us on our website and get information about the cosmology. I truly know that it can help you evolve beyond the limited programming that we get in what we call the matrix. And you really can take control of your life and live a life of fulfillment, and joy and fulfillment, so that you can now experience this journey so much different than hopelessness and despair. With that being said, I would like to end with, in Lakesh, I am another you. Alakim, you are another me. Hotep, Hetipu, and Namaste. And don't you forget that evolution is the solution. Peace.
It's just different.
I am the world changer, coded by the blue storm. My number is 19, the power of all number. I am the master alchemist, the force behind the philosopher's stone. Skilled at the art of transmutation. I am the catalytic transformer of world consciousness and planetary living. I oversee the changes of the weather. I am the thunder that shatters your world systems. I am the transport of clouds filled with lightning to illuminate the truth behind your illusions. I am the bringer of the drenching rains that purifies. It was I who caused the triple Aztec monuments of the Avatar archetype to appear in the ancient temple grounds. I oversee the morning and the evening stars. I behold the creator of the fifth sun, the present world. Sent forth am I to dwell among you, calling forth a sixth sun. For the great regeneration of the world's soul, to know me is to know your own power of self-generation. To know me is to know your own power of self-generation. Self-generation is power. I am the transport of clouds filled with lightning to illuminate the truth behind your illusions. I am the bringer of the drenching rains that purifies.